Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, the Crypto Hipster, Jamil Hassan, and I'm bringing you now Season 5. And this is a real delight to be able to do that. And the other delight that I have is to a reintroduction of an amazing guest that I had during Season 2. His name is Jamie Goldblatt. He is the founder of MindChill 360. Jamie, welcome back to my show.
Oh, hi, it's a pleasure to be here. And what a year it's been.
Yeah, it's 2022 is in the books, and I'm interested to see, how 2022 went for you and 2023 looks. But I want to first ask you, for the people who haven't heard our previous episode, briefly, what is your background, and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
Sure. So for 20 years, I've been creating, curating, and distributing digital art and creativity, whilst working with some of the world's biggest charities, brands, telecoms, broadcasters, and film studios. I set up one of the first digital content studios, and my original digital art and content has been downloaded by over 60 million. After taking some time out to have a family, I got ill, and it unexpectedly affected my mental health. And so the way I kind of dealt with it was by creating. And I would create these MindChill 360 art and soundscapes to give my mind a kind of a place to escape to, another world. And I uploaded some to Facebook, and amazingly they were organically shared and seen by millions. And I started to get loads of messages from people saying how it chilled their mind. And so kind of that's how a brief introduction of how MindChill was born, basically.
Awesome. So let's dive into that a little bit more. Like, what is MindChill 360 all about, and what have been some of your most recent achievements? Because the last time I think we talked, you're using a different platform. You changed. You built you build up the NFT. How's it going?
Yeah, really good. So basically, MindChill, and we're on a mission to chill the world out. Our world, not only is our world completely stressed out, I would also argue completely unprepared for the rapid transformation of disruption coming. I think there's a huge disruption coming, and so we're creating a new reality, which is the Metaverse of Chill, a new economic model, which is Chill to Earn, which is powered by MindChill Coin and Proof of Chill tokens. We also have a Bank of Chill, which also includes Bank of Chill Live, a crowdfunding show where individuals, communities, and organizations can pitch ideas to chill the world out and take their place in the Metaverse of Chill. And all of this is guided by 15,000 MindChill NFT guardians. So that's MindChill in a brief summary.
So those guardians, they've been asleep, or have they woken, or what's this?
So they're asleep at the moment. And to put a bit more context into it, MindChill helps solve 4 kind of interlinked problems that are really important at the moment. I'd like to kind of tell you them. And the first one is mental health. It's a huge pandemic. I don't know if you know, 25% of the global population suffer from poor mental health and or grief. And currently, the worst thing you can do to improve your mental health or get support, inspiration, or any real community is to go online. I'm determined, and MindChill is determined to change this. Creating the chill also is good for business, because over 1 trillion is lost in productivity per year due to poor mental health. So as we move into the next kind of reality and our world turns into a computer game, we need a Metaverse of Chill. The second problem that MindChill is currently helping to solve is the fiat value and perceived social dignity that we give kindness, creativity, inspiration, and caring for others. Is, in my opinion, is completely undervalued. Our communities are divided for kind of like ratings, likes, and shares, and to gain products fiat value, and whilst influence is kind of bought rather than advocacy. And I believe things can change by using creativity as a currency, to create opportunities to solve problems whilst we're getting back more value than just fiat reward. I believe this is the business model of now. I mean, engagement hungry, toxic negativity and kind of division has been rewarded over the last few years with incredible financial benefits and value, and we're going to flip it. And that's kind of our mission. And the third problem, and the elephant in the room, is tokens, NFTs, and crypto have a horrendous PR problem. FTX, celebs getting sued, hacks. This is so unfortunate. As a technology, I believe, mixed with creativity, has the power to really change things and cause real disruption. But I believe all real disruption is misunderstood at first. The final problem, which I think is one of the most important, is the jobs of the past are just that. The speed of AI is just crazy. We must develop and find new economy models now, change what we teach now. As realistically, AI will not eliminate all the jobs, but it's moving so fast. Humans will have so much more time to spend caring for others and working with AI to create creative ideas that we can't even imagine today. I like to kind of sum it up as welcome to the dawn of the digital artists, because those with imagination working with AI and working with this new technology of blockchain and cryptocurrency and tokens, I think we can do amazing things. And we've been working so hard at Mindshare to get it to a point where we can build the foundations properly, and we're excited to kind of move forward to the next stage now.
All right, so I want to follow up on each one of those things. So let's start with the mental health. You know, when I spoke to you a year and a half ago, my son was 11, and since then he's now 13. And turning on the 13-year-old button was kind of like turning on the little demon button, right? The kid won't eat breakfast, right? He won't, and he thinks that he can be strong and healthy if he doesn't eat, right? And a lot of the kids in this don't eat. And how do you help like somebody young navigate towards positive mental health in this age where everything's moving so quickly, and where you don't think you have to do things like what are some tangible things we can do?
Okay. Well, for me, currently, is your teenage son shooting zombies all day, or killing things online, or viewing TikToks of people doing silly things rather than creativity and just out of curiosity?
Might be doing that. He might be looking at TikTok. I don't know. The other two things he's not.
Okay, cool. Well, from I create, and when I create and listen to music, I disappear my mind into a different world. The other thing that I do is I do exercise, and I do active things, but sometimes that can be really boring and not appeal to kids your age, kids your son's age. And so we need to make these things interesting. We need to earn rewards for doing creative things in order to improve your mental health, without it being kind of like, here are these things to do to improve your mental health. It's more that being part of a community, eating right, sleeping right, and there's all these major things that we all kind of know that we need to do in order to improve our mental health, but actually doing them is another thing. So by being creative and using rewards and using tokening and using gamification, we can make it interesting and engaging, and something that they want to do, and something that you want to chill your mind. That's basically tangible things that we can do.
Awesome. And then moving on to the division, I was an investor in Celsius, right? You mentioned that there, and the community is fighting, like the former crypto community is fighting with each other because everybody has different interests, right? So how do you improve that infighting when you're in a situation, and to be able to rebuild a community if possible?
Let me get okay. So during this industry, I have learned so much. To give you an example, you cannot trust anyone in this industry. It is crazy. To give you an example, I had 4 agreements from a very, very top tier exchange. All 4 of them were complete scammers that had thousands of LinkedIn followers, and basically it was complete scams. And I managed to get to the head of them and find out this was all scams. But you couldn't trust anyone in this industry that I've been working with, for example. It's very difficult. And so you need to make sure that you verify everything that you do. And one of the things with regards to social media and engagement hungry kind of toxic negativity being rewarded, we need to change that. And I believe it's quite easy to change that by being creative. And yeah, so that's the chill to earn aspect of what we're working on.
Great. And you mentioned the elephant in the room was the PR problem, right? So
the elephant in the room is the PR problem, the FTX. The people, it's greed over good, and we're good. So which would you want to invest in now? Would you want to invest in greed or good? Because I believe the business model of now is good. And if we make a difference to people and a difference to people's lives, that has a value, and we can do amazing things with that.
So let's talk about greed to good a little bit further. You've been on quite the journey since you first started the Guardians project, both technology wise, because you've changed the platform a few times, and then from a relationship with the community, can you please walk us through, your journey up until now?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I will preface it with never give up. Because I think that's the biggest thing I've learned through all of this. I can take you through it a bit. I launched pre-sales of the Mind Chill NFT Guardians and the Memorial Islands, and it went super well. And we're on track to hit 1 million in NFT sales. I had no chargebacks, no issues, all organically done via my network. And then I suddenly get an email out of the blue saying PayPal has shut down my business and personal account of 6 years and will keep the money for what turned out to be 220 days. Then Shopify closed our payment gateway account, and luckily some paid by card, so we had money in the business bank account. But then suddenly Barclays suspended my business account, and no problems, no issues with anything. I've had it for 6 years, everything that we're doing, and then after finally getting it back, I went through the process of getting our own payment gateway. It took a few months, but I got it. And we relaunched and we were back on track. And then after 2 months or so, I think it was, with no problems, I get an email from the bank saying they will no longer support Mindchill and the payment gateway will no longer support us. And I was like, what the? And so I then go through 6 months. It takes me 6 months paying lawyers' fees. And finally, I achieved our own payment gateway with Total Processing, which is an amazing company who supported us. And it was just ready, and as just ready to launch, FTX hit and the bear market hit, and it was like, great, this is fantastic. Never give up. And so basically, meanwhile, I was advising for a year for a layer 1 blockchain, that the first one we had, focused on ESG, and signed an agreement with them where they would help provide the tech side to launch Mindchill's marketplace, because obviously I didn't want to be build a house on digital rented land again, and I was one of their strategic partners. What transpired, which was very different. And so after a year, I had to kind of make the tough decision, and I cancelled the Mindchill Guardians mint date partnership with them and moved on. And so I went and told the community, and always transparent. I then went and obtained meetings with all the other top tier blockchains, and brought back offers to the Guardians. And the Guardians chose Polygon Studios and Polygon, and so we signed an agreement with them. And basically throughout the disruptions and the journey, the community has come together. They've been so supportive, and we've been constantly transparent and communicated the lows as well as the highs. And sometimes it's been very difficult, and it's been quite anxious for me to do this, but being transparent is really important. We got less than 0.1% who asked for a refund ahead of the mint, and the mint was a great success. And what the biggest thing that I find from it all is that the Mindchill Guardians, who believe in what we're doing, and I've kind of seen the power of Mindchill and work have been so amazing in helping build the foundation. It's been a kind of like privilege to watch them grow into those kind of roles and use their initiative, and I really can't wait for them to be rewarded with the value that they deserve. We have an amazing community behind us, and I'm not giving up, and there is absolutely no stopping me, and there's no stopping Mindchill as well. So it's a very difficult, it's a constant fight, but we will get there in the end. And a lot of people don't see things like that. And so to be able to kind of like keep the company going, keep everyone thinking that I'm not a rug pull and I'm trying to steal and scam their money, having community members get really angry and talking to them. It's been an interesting journey, but we've managed to get it to a point where we can really move forward. And we weren't funded like anything. Everything has been done organically and self-funded. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey.
Got to say, I'm on your Telegram channel and I see people's comments and I see people that are very supportive of you, and it's really been impressive, even though the delay and I didn't know everything that happened. But you know, thank you for telling me. From what I can see, is that your community is an amazing community that's fully supportive of you. So that's great. You know.
Yeah, it's been amazing, and what's it's been so tough, but we've all become friends and we know each other. As far as we've never met, but we know each other. And the messages that I get, which I never kind of reveal, are so amazing. And the different people that are helping, we just need to scale it. And what's also been kind of good is that during this entire process, the ones that were in it, I mean, I had some community members who, you know, the one other thing to learn is that everyone has their own motives, and that's totally cool. But you have to be careful sometimes because their motives aren't potentially positive towards you, even though you can be positive towards everyone. So yeah, that's something to also learn, because we had a bit of fun and games with that as well, with some community members and yeah, and trying to cause trouble. So yeah, it's an interest in order to take people from the community onto another community. It's a very kind of dog eat dog kind of industry at the moment, and that's why we want to change it into something more for good.
I see that too. I see that with my Celsius investments, where you have factions, you know.
Yeah.
And where you have, you know, different yeah, it's been that way since like May 2022, and I would love everybody just, you know, to chill out, right? And so would you. And
Totally. And I think the thing would say is that I would be I totally understand delays and I totally understand things. I would be more worried if I didn't care, and if I could quite easily put stuff out, and we could put stuff out that doesn't make people go wow and doesn't move things forward in a really amazing way, and I would never let anything go out like that. My biggest problem is deadlines, and but because the problem is I set these deadlines and then these different things happen, and so therefore I need to backtrack on those deadlines. And so I've learned for this year we're going to do something very different in the way we move forward. So it's all been a massive learning curve, and amazing experience, I've got to say. It's been I'm really excited for the future, because you can see it reminds me exactly of my mobile days, where, you know, there was really excitement all over mobile, and then suddenly it all just fell to the floor and no one was before iPhones and things. So yeah, it's an interesting part of where we are in the cycle of everything.
awesome. I'm glad you're building in the bear, right? And speaking, you know, of the bear, you know, people are struggling in this bear market, and, you know, you said hang in there. And what other words of advice and wisdom would you give them, you know, especially to people, you know, who are, you know, struggling right now? How would you think that they should be able to stay in there and get there?
Well, I think it's horrific when you're seeing the value of your assets decline. It's not going to be conducive to good mental health. But the one thing that I would say is that, and obviously not financial advice, but bear markets are a normal and an expected part of cryptocurrency market cycle. It's also market cycles, and I believe they present opportunities for long-term investors and ideas. But stress and anxiety can lead to poor decision making. So I find, for me, it's important to stay calm and chill out and see the bigger picture, because if you think about it, 95% of the world don't know what an NFT is. We are moving into a digital metaverse world, which is with augmented reality, virtual reality. This is 5 to 10 years away massively, and have really and so we are such at the infancy. It's exactly like apps were at the beginning, where there was like 100,000 apps or something. Now there are 2 billion or whatever apps, however many there are. So we are at such the beginning, and if you believe in what you do and using this amazing technology, we can do some amazing things.
So I want to talk about your guardians a little bit, right? So what are your guardians still? Are your guardians are asleep, but when they awake, and hopefully that's a 2023 thing.
Yes.
What are they going to provide? What's the relationship going to be? How are they going to provide what they do? How's that going to work? And what's going to be the benefit of the guardian?
Okay, so there's a number of things, and I can't say too much because there's going to be a lot of surprises. But what I would say is that each guardian has an origin story, and each guardian has a family or individual connected to that. When they awaken, they show the color of their eyes, and that determines certain passive rewards that they get. But also the family and the individual is part of their backstory and the part of what they do in the Metaverse of Chill. Ultimately, we want your guardian to also be able to talk to you and to become your friend as well, which is something that your mental health guardian as well. That's something that we're looking to focus on as well with AI. But the other thing that we're actually I'm very excited about looking into is EKG as well, which is a potential, and I can't say too much, but a MindShield smartwatch, because then we can track mood and proof of chill, and so so the guardians are the central to the MindShield universe, and there will also be an exhibition that tours as well as virtual, and they are going to be in the central part of the Chillscape Island, which is something that is coming quite soon as well. So we've been building, we've got some really exciting surprises to come. So the guardians, for me, they also vote for the Bank of Chill Live, and the guardians are the ones that are going to be voting on how we will move forward, the different activities that we do in Chill to Earn, and basically they are the guidance for the Metaverse of Chill. So instead of having one person who owns the platform or the business, it's 15,000 who help guide it.
Awesome. And you said in the beginning, I asked you 3 follow-ups from your 4 points, and I didn't talk about the 4th point yet, but I'm going to, is AI. And you mentioned, I'm going to combine that with the mental health question. You said people lose their spirituality. They lose the spirituality first, then their mentality, physical, and then that returns in reverse order. How can we leverage AI to return to our spirituality and then use MindShield, to restore, our humanity?
Yeah, totally. And what AI is just has been blowing me away recently, and I've been working with it for years with regards to image-based style transfer and all the different things that I've been doing. And the advancement in the last year or so to 2 years has been crazy. And for me, one of the most wonderful things that I've done, which is also going back to one of your earlier questions, which was what chills my mind, creating AI and creating art with the support of AI is amazing. And the other thing that I'd like to mention just quickly first is that I'm dyslexic, and And the fact that I can use ChatGTP to formulate my sentences better and quicker has meant that I have been able to move forward so much faster, and be able to have a more superpower, which I think is what AI will ultimately do. It will give you the power to do what you want to do in a creative way, and help you. It will disrupt so much. But I think for mental health, there's huge opportunity there. Like, for example, with the Memorial Islands, one of the things that I saw on the news actually earlier today was I'm not sure whether I think it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we could use creative things like this, whereby the person can recreate a lost loved one with AI, and they can speak to you, and it's a chat bot, and it looks like them, and so you can talk to your deceased parent or something like that. And for me, I'm not sure whether that helps the grieving process, but for me, we can do amazing things. Like, we've got these memory blocks, and the way that we capture 3D our memories is changing. So to give you an example, one of the things that I love is that I have a 9-year-old son. To scan his room, and then in 10 years time to be able to have that in a memory box, and for him to be able to go into that room in VR will be wonderful. And so the way that we capture things, and the way that AI would help me achieve that with nerve technology and different things is amazing. And it just opens up so much opportunity. It also opens up opportunity to create the guardians to speak and get you to a position where, if you need professional help, you can have professional help. It will open up new jobs. I just think I don't think people are ready for it yet, on how amazing this is actually going to change. And so we do need new forms of economies, because people who write SEO, people who do, whole different jobs are changing, and so that's why Chill to Earn is so important, of what we're creating, which is basically, instead of getting prizes for fighting and competing, you get rewards via experiences, missions and games that can help put you in the chill zone. So for example, we have the themes: be creative, be active, be mindful, be logical, be kind, be adventurous, and be inspirational. And if we focus on those things as new economies, I think that our world will be a much better place. And I believe AI can help us with that. And I believe, there's huge opportunity there. As I always love this saying, Steve Jobs: everything we call life is made up by people no smarter than you, which means you can change it. And I believe a lot of time it's humans that make things complicated. And we're only on this planet for such a short time. And when you're ill, you realize that. And when you see people being unchilled, you think it's a waste of time, if that makes sense. And I think AI can help us with that on so many ways, from loneliness to helping speed up NHS things, to medical things, to so much.
I agree. So yeah, it's mind blowing when thinking about it, So I know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. So your roadmap for 2023, right? Where are you at now? Where do you think you'll be by the end of the year? How are you going to get there? And how can people take part of that?
Sure. Okay. Well, it's a really exciting year, because we're all foundations have been built, and we're now ready to scale. And so the first thing that's coming up is the Guardian Awakening, and we're going to surprise the community on a number of levels. What I can say is that we had a competition in New Year for the first 10 Guardians to be awakened, and they're now queued in the bank of Chill. And if you are interested in being a part of Mind Chill, you can purchase the Final Sleeping Mind Chill NFT Guardians from mind-chill.com/guardians, and be part of the community to help us disrupt reality. Our Memorial Islands, which is our first virtual real estate development, is currently being built, and I'm really excited for this potential. And we've got some really creative ideas, and I've got some huge news on that coming soon, as well as the Chillscape Islands. We also just launched the first ever Mind Chill Pet Art Prize. Animal art chills your mind, so we're going to scale it. So the countdown is kind of on to buy and trade the NFT opportunity to include your pet as a Mind Chill model in the first pet art competition exhibition. I'm personally creating the first 50, and 25% is going to the Dogs Trust, which is an amazing charity. You can secure yours at mind-chill.com/yourpet, I think it is. Because unfortunately, due to the pandemic, pet places and charities have been inundated with pets that people can't afford anymore, and so we need to chill the minds of animals as well at the same time, and that's really important. So this year, we've also focused on two things, which is the I can't say too much about it, but the token generation event for Mind Chill Coin and Proof of Chill, and we've also taken on an investment banker, and we've also just signed a deal on the equity side, because we've built this all organically so far, and we've also just signed a deal with Manuka Network, which is another investment partner who is going to help us with everything. So yeah, we've got some really exciting news coming soon as well on NFT Drops for Good, and we've also got a huge, which I'm really excited about, exchange that wants to do a partnership with us, a real top tier one, and it's more than just it's a strategic partnership, which will be great and really exciting. And so it's about creating something amazing, creating the metaverse of chill, and creating the most awesome ways to chill your mind, and consistently building the community via advocacy rather than buying influence. I mean, it's wonderful, Jamil, that I talk to you. You're the only person that hasn't asked me for money to talk to you, and that's why I like to talk to you, because it's just how can you trust it if you're paying for it? I find that interesting sometimes. Like for example, some of the big sites, they can charge me £64,000 to have an article in there, or and I just think you're buying that. So it's rather than them actually interested in talking to you. So I love talking to you, because not because I'm cheap, but because I believe you're genuinely interested, and I'm genuinely interested in talking to you as well. So yeah, that's my kind of thinking.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I agree. I don't charge for my podcast, but I always enjoy to really learn, and a lot of times when I talk to people, I keep learning and growing. It stretches my mind. So my mind's not chill. My mind's constantly expanding. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you, why do you think that? Because I do. Why do you think that growing and learning is an important part of psychological wellness? A lot of people want to talk about psychological wellness, but why do you think psychological is important?
Well, I think I mean, most people my age now, I'm 43, and you get to a point and you stop learning, don't you? You go to school and then it stops learning, and then unless you actively go to it, what you find is that, like Moore's law, all technology and everything changes over 2 years or whatever, and becomes redundant, and so and just like AI happening. We need to constantly educate, and we need to constantly re-educate and retrain, and be inspirational with it. And I am looking at my country at the moment, and there is no inspiration whatsoever. There is no creativity. There is nothing. All it is grey and the same old rubbish. I am determined this year to make a massive dent in massive dent in reality, if that makes sense. One person who I will remain nameless, said that I'm an artist and therefore I don't understand concepts. They are business people, and therefore they are have more value. And I believe the most dangerous thing is a creative with an idea. And and so I think we're going to make a real dent, and I'm very excited for the future.
Me too. Awesome. So I'm going to thank you very much for your time today. It's been great to catch up. I'm looking forward to all the great things coming this year. And I have one final question, and that's how can people I mean, pretty much already answered, but how can people find out more information about MindChill, and how can people find out more information about you? And then what's your Telegram channel to people to join in, and how can they do any of that?
Yeah, sure. So if you go to mind-chill.com, you'll be able to read everything about what we're doing. And I also just released the purple paper, which also is a 98 page strategy of what we're actually doing, if you fancy a long read. That's better than Harry's book. So yeah, that's a bit of a joke, but there you go. And so yeah, yeah, best thing to do is go to mind-chill.com, join our Discord. Our amazing community will welcome you, and yeah, there's loads of exciting opportunities as we build. Really, it's not for me to decide certain things moving forward now as we built the foundations. It's for the community. So I'm excited to kind of open it up and keep moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time today.
No, my pleasure. Thank you very much.